Hi, I'm Elwen and welcome to my kitchen, Croeso. Well, as you can see, I've got a lot of sausages here in front of me, and these have been sent to me by Puff Pigs, who make their own fantastic sausages on their farm in Wales. And what I'm going to do today is share a few tips with you of what judges look for when they're actually judging sausages. So really we're going to look at what makes a great sausage. Are being judged, the producer has to send in the raw version of the sausages and also cooked versions, or sometimes they might be cooked on site. And I know because I've cooked a lot of sausages in my time. Okay, what's really important obviously when we're judging sausages is first of all the way they look. You've got to look at the appearance of the sausages. That's very important because if it doesn't look good, then obviously you're not going to buy and cook that sausage. Then we've got to look at the size of the sausage. What's very important with that is that it's an even width all along the length of the sausage. So you need to look whether they're all even when they're submitted to a competition. And then we want to just check that they're finished off with nice tight ends. We then move on to look at how they're filled. And you can see here that these have all been filled really well, very packed with premium meat, so that's good. But what's important to look at when you're looking at that is this, for example. You can see here where the skin has actually puckered a little bit there. And what happens there might be a little bit of an air gap in there. And what can happen then, obviously, is that can burst when it's actually being cooked. This particular one is a pork and leek, and you can see again lovely premium meats packed into there. We can see a nice balanced little bit of fat, but not much at all. And we can see flecks of the leek. So that looks really good. And then that tells me what flavour this sausage is. What we need to do as well with this is make sure that there's no internal little nasties in there like bone or gristle, which would be very rare. But obviously if they did find anything like that, points would be deducted then for that particular sausage. And of course we look at the texture. So looking at the texture, we want it nice and packed, not too coarse and consistent. So that's really the main things we look for in the raw sausages. So we'll have a look now at the cooked versions of these sausages. And again, the main thing again is start off with appearance. How does it look? Has it cooked nicely? The other thing that's very important, does it look appealing? Does it look tasty? We then look at the shrinkage, because obviously when we cook sausages, they can shrink slightly, but what you don't want is for them to shrink a lot. Because what that means then, of course, is that there could have been a bit too much fat in there or to cause the shrinkage. So we just take a look. And if you look at these are the same size as the raw version, which is great. And this particular one, you can see there, this is the garlic and chili one again, lovely, kept the size. So that sausage hasn't shrunk a lot during cooking. Then we look at really whether they've split. Now these have cooked great. Here, a little bit of an example of where the skin has split a little bit. Could well be the way I've cooked it. But again, we just look for that sort of thing, whether they've cooked nicely and consistently and whether we take some points off for the skin splitting. Of course, we come on to tasting, which is a key part. And when we're tasting, what we need to do, obviously, when you cut them up and then just see how they actually feel then when you're actually eating them. You don't want any sort of greasy aftertaste when you put the sausage in your mouth. Or how does it taste? You know, is it too coarse? Is the texture? All of that is taken into account. The judges will smell the sausages in the raw and cooked state, and also just to see the flavours, obviously. If it's a flavoured sausage, like that one was the chili and garlic, which is a winning sausage, then of course we need those flavours to come through. But also then look at the combination to see if those flavours work together. This one is a new flavour, pork and parsnip, which is delicious. So all of that is really important when they're actually coming on to tasting the sausages. I hope I've given you a little bit of an insight into what goes into a really good quality sausage. And if you're thinking of buying some sausages, then if you go along to your local butcher or if you contact your local pork producer, then you will also be able to buy really good premium quality pork sausages.